just training camp. You're dealing with bumps, bruises, tweaks, small sprains, stuff like that. Everybody in the country's got it. You get better looks at other guys. You start working other parts of your game. Certainly none of us thought that everybody in the three deep on both sides of the ball was going to stay perfectly healthy. That's fairly common in all the years that we've done this, as well as everywhere in the country. So it's just something you deal with and you manage and you get through.
Good note there. Armand was back out there today.
Yeah.
How did he look?
Yep. Armand's a good back. That's another guy that's had some injury history in his past, but he's a guy that's just trying to learn our system and learn the offense and his footwork and the signal and playing fast, and he's picked it up fairly well. He's smart.
How's Jack Anderson looking on that on the offensive line?
Yeah, Jack and Dawson, coming off of both injuries, very limited in the spring, and so again, 9 or 10 days in, learning our offense, and Jack's and Dawson. Jack's playing the guard, Dawson's playing center. They're starting to settle into those kind of roles, but the communication's got to continue to improve amongst the whole line, not just both of them, but they got to learn to be able to play and to do their assignments and communicate to the guys next to them, because it's not about them doing their thing right. It's about all 5 guys being on the same page when you talk about offensive line.
You seemed at every point to be kind of happy with where your team is and moving along in this fall. Still the same type of thing, happy with where?
Yeah, nothing's changed since we talked last.
We were talking about coordinators, and they both mentioned Xavier White's play. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, Xavier is maybe one of the surprises of camp, only because he wasn't here with us in the spring and really most of the summer. Lubbock kid, good story. Could have gone back to junior college and had a really good year and chose to come here as a non-scholarship guy, and he's put himself in the conversation to get some playing time.
And so, obviously, by coming here after 1 year, he was a qualifier out of high school, correct?
Correct.
So he didn't have to graduate up there. And did he just say he approached y'all? 'Cause it sounds like y'all.
I mean, it was mutual. We found him in the spring. He approached us. I'm not sure who made the first connection, but we knew about him in the spring when we were out spring recruiting.
What does he do best?
He catches the ball and makes a move real quick. And at our age position, those are some skills that are needed and necessary. He's improving his route running. He's still a young receiver. I mean, he's a first-year Division I player, a second-year college player. Prove his route running ability. He's actually made some decent blocks out on the perimeter against some bigger overhang safeties and outside linebackers. And man, it's coming fast at him, because this offense is a load to handle early when you haven't been through it in the summer. He didn't even get the summer to go through it really until he got in here, and so I'm proud of him. He's got himself in the mix, and he's made some catches. He's caught the quarterback's eye. He's caught the defense coordinator's eye, and he's got himself in the conversation in the next 2 weeks. We'll see how he does.
Coach, you had Big 12 officials in here for the scrimmage. How do you think your team did penalty-wise? Acceptable, not acceptable, or what to work on?
I would probably classify it as okay to acceptable. Not bad for a first scrimmage. We didn't have a whole lot of procedure and all that stuff with new quarterbacks, all that, a real Big 12 crew in here. I thought we handled it fairly well. Really on both sides. We had very few pre-snap penalties, and I don't think any post-snap. And you guys know that I'm going to harp on that. Pre-snap, post-whistle. Excuse me, not post-snap. Pre-snap, post-whistle penalties. We minimize those. That's not beating yourself. We'll try to handle the penalties within the play.
How has Allen looked just the last couple weeks of camp?
Well, I mean, you're only 9 days into it, so I think good at times. Still improvement to go fundamentally for him every day. Again, going through the cycle of Coach Yost offense, I think will make anybody more comfortable. He's got to continue to learn his wideouts. He's got some new wideouts. We just talked about Xavier. You got R.J. Turner. To be real blunt with you, I mean, TJ missed half the spring, so it's not like they've had a phenomenal rapport in terms of length of service here together. I mean, Allen's just in his second year, and TJ's going to be into as a redshirt junior, but it's not like they've thrown together for 3 or 4 years and then TJ missed half a spring. So you're breaking in. It's a new system. Some days look a little cleaner than others.
David Yost mentioned how Allen was kind of like just like staying in the fairway. He wasn't being a game manager, but he wasn't trying to do too much. Do you want to see more from him, or do you think he's all right where he's at right now in terms of the growth of this offense?
I think it'll happen naturally. We're not going to force it on Allen. He's handled everything like a pro. You got to manage a game at quarterback, and then there's times that you got to be the guy and understand that I'm gonna rip this ball in some tight coverage, and I'm going to take a little bit of a chance right here, but they're calculated chances too, and that comes with maturity. And that comes with maturity. Let me rephrase that: maturity in the offense. Okay, it's not so much chronological maturity; it's maturity in the offense and knowing the progressions and when I can take chances, and it's also within the game. And so you do have to be a game manager. Where I'm at on the field, what's the D&D? What's the climate of the game? Are we behind? Are we ahead? How well are we playing? All those kind of things.
On Saturday, you kind of mentioned that the defense had been winning a lot of practices. Is that more a note on the defense really succeeding, or maybe the offense trying to catch up a little bit?
To clarify, I said the last 2 practices. Yeah.
So,
It's been pretty good give and take. Tell you, Saturday, in all the first scrimmages I've kind of been around as a head coach the last several years, that was a lot more balanced. I wasn't sure if it was going to be tilted one way or another or just look poor on both sides. We're not where we need to be on either side of the ball, but there were some big plays and explosives on offense. We're pretty decent in the red zone on offense. I thought the defense tackled very well for a first scrimmage. I thought we played very well on third down for a first scrimmage on defense. So, there's things to work on both sides, but there was some good give and take with the ones.
Yost had mentioned the defensive line giving him fits earlier today in the period that we were able to see Bradford. One play busted through the line and got a 3-yard loss on a tackle. The next one you're yelling at him. What have you seen from him, and is that just typical of a young guy trying to get his feet in there?
I think you got a small sliver. I think you saw a really good play. Tony is a guy that has a big motor. He's smart. He's absorbed a lot of stuff early on for a true freshman. And then there's another guy that's put himself. I'm just going to keep saying it this way because nobody's in a solidified role right now for about another 10 days. He's got himself in the conversation. Tyreke Matthews is another one. Xavier Williams is another one. Trey Cleveland flashed a few times today. Those are new freshmen. Then when you talk about your redshirt freshmen, we've got a handful of those guys too that are still young in the program. I think that are going to be good players.
For a couple more.
how has Zack McPherson kind of come in and integrate himself
Zack
into the
McPherson. The guy is tough. He's smart. He does all the extra things. He does all the little things right. He communicates. He's a good tackler in space. You're going to see a lot of Zack McPherson in the next 2 years. He's a good punt returner. Could be an kickoff returner. He's a talented young man. Fits exactly the culture that we want in this program, too. He's going to add to that locker room. He's a great kid.
Is that a big thing for the transfers, just coming in and saying, yep, I'll do this, I'll do whatever you need me to do?
Yeah, they better all say that, whether they're freshmen or transfers.
Coach, just real quick, big picture from here till the season opener, what does this team need to do to get ready for that game?
Well, it's too big a picture for us right
Sure.
now. It's tomorrow's practice, and then we're going to be a little lighter on Wednesday. It's 2 hard practices, Thursday, Friday, and we got a major second scrimmage on Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. There'll be a lot of evaluations and decisions starting to be made that will get finalized by the middle of that next week, and then at that point it puts you about 10 days out of your opener. So I think those are the small term. You got this week major scrimmage, and then you really got Monday and Tuesday of that next week. So we're on about an 8-day blinders on grind right now.
Does that include the position or the order of quarterbacks on the depth chart in terms of number 2 and 3 for those big decisions for after the middle of next?
Yeah, and that'll be a daily decision. That decision may not get finalized until the day before the first game.
Kickers and punters, how are they looking?
They're out there.
That doesn't sound encouraging.
I think we got a pretty good set of 2 punters. Cody and Austin McNamara are competing very good. If we had to play today, Austin would start. Cody's one of the more improved players on the football team coming out of spring ball. From where he finished spring ball, changed his body over the summer. I commend Cody quite a bit. Cody is battling. Austin's is a very young, talented, big leg.
I mean, we was probably about as full strength as we could get today, and I thought coming out today, you always worry coming off a scrimmage, coming off a day off, where a lot of film study and that type stuff. The intensity, I thought we really, once the practice got into a flow, I thought we got better today.
Going back to the scrimmage again, I know we talked about it there, or at least we got video of Coach talking about it. What did you like from your guys that we saw a handful of turnovers, I guess?
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest thing. I thought we did a great job stopping the run. We forced 3 takeaways, which is, our standard, 3 or more a game. Gives us a chance to win, so I was very excited about that. And then I felt good. I don't mean to jinx myself or our unit, but felt really good about our tackling. We've really put a major emphasis on yards after contact, trying to close space. That's kind of the new thing with spread offenses, or throwing the ball to the perimeter, and people are kind of trying to still tackle and break down the way you used to. If you break down, they're just eating up yardage. So we're trying to go and really be aggressive with our tackling, and I was very, very proud and pleased with the way we performed.
What specific players have come like the longest way since you first started and were with these guys to like now, in terms of like growth?
I hate to single people out, a weekend of spring football, but I think probably the biggest thing is I think we've come along as a unit. I mean, just in visiting with some of the offensive coaches, they've been very complimentary about the progress that we've made defensively from spring to fall camp. So individuals, like I said, I'll single individual performances out once we start playing, but right now I'm still trying to keep them hungry, and hungry dog hunts best.
How have you seen the cornerbacks play so far, Coach? As a group, how have the cornerbacks done?
Been pretty good, I think. I mean, we're challenging receivers, obviously. We got some new people coming in that have really helped with not only our depth, but have allowed us to be, I don't know what scheme or what was really taught here a year ago, but I know that we're very aggressive. They're starting to get a very good feel for what we're trying to accomplish, and they're being very aggressive and squeezing and topping routes, and as you see, it results in takeaways, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
How many of Zach come in and kind of adjusted to being on this team?
It's like he's been here for about 5 years. I mean, very impressive young man. He's mature, he's athletic, he's strong. He's everything you look for in a corner. Stays healthy, gonna have a tremendous season.
Was that about Zach? Or?
Yes, Zach.
What about how has Evan kind of come in?
Evan, same thing. He's big, stronger, bigger. Just hard to block on the perimeter. He's got long levers, so he keeps people off of him. And he's just obviously he's a very smart young man. So he just brings a maturity. Both those guys have brought a maturity and have really filled gaps for us that I think, if we can just got to continue to improve in both those positions and areas, and we'll be fine.
How many of those corners do you feel good about right now?
Right now, I'm going to say,
Can play Big 12 football.
I'm going to say 4 to 5.
What about the
What's
freshman
that ideal
linebackers?
number
Go ahead.
Is the ideal?
Yeah, obviously you better have 2. But I think in this league, because there's times in our sub packages we'll play with 4 corners. So I think you have to have a minimum of 4 that can play at an elite level. I think we have 5 guys that have the skill set to get it done in this league. So I think we've really improved our depth at that position, and I think the scheme and what we do really fits their skill set.
What have you thought of John Davis at this spot?
Yeah, he's athletic. I mean, obviously he's a tremendous talent. Like all the rest of them, we're just trying to get him to improve every day. Has all the tools you look for in a corner. Got great cover skills. Like most of them, we're just trying to get them to be more competitive at the point of attack, playing through the ball, and just being aggressive.
Who on the offensive side has been giving your defense fits? Either when they're throwing it to them or when they're running it, you're like, him again?
Let me be honest.
Nobody standing out?
I don't focus on the offense. I really don't. I'm not trying to be smart or nothing. I come in. I'm very laser focused in what I'm trying to accomplish. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really focused on the detail of what we're trying to do schematically, technically, coaching with a critical eye. I just keep reminding our coaches every single day, man, our daily must, the fundamentals, and watching and critiquing the video with a critical eye. So when you're so focused on that, I'm still trying to learn all the offensive guys' names. And so I'm just going to be honest with you. Coach Yost has given me a lot of problems.
When you came in, one of the things you're talking about, this team needed to be disciplined.
Yes.
And you guys had Big 12 officials in for the scrimmage. How did your team do in that aspect?
Great. We just had some PIs that extended drives, and normally when that happens, it's going to be a bad result, and that's what the case was in the scrimmage. I think both times, or at least 3 times, we gave up touchdowns after a PI in a critical situation. I think the biggest thing for our players was educationally making them understand that every DB, there's a set of eyes on you. Someone is watching you every play. You can't grab. You can't make contact early. So I think the educational aspect of it, but more importantly, then we go right out and we're able to teach off the video. I told you, there's a set of eyes on you every single play. You got to be disciplined, and it's just a process in trying to become disciplined. It's easy to do it when I'm out there and I'm on the field and I'm demanding, but when I'm on the sideline, they have to handle that. So it's going to be a process, but I really like where we are. You won't see any undisciplined, unsportsmanlike acts. Yeah, I'm just telling you right now, you won't see that.
Matt Wells talked about moving guys around in the secondary. Some guys might play corner that played safety. Some guys might play safety that played corner. When it comes to Adrian Fry, where has he looked better? Has he looked better at which position?
Well, I hadn't played him at corner, if that answers your question yet. He hasn't played any corner, but he can, and he will. Right now, he's just really everything we look for in a cover safety. We are kind of positionless in the back end. We just look for guys in this day and age. You got to have cover guys. So, shoot, if I could play 4 of them back there, I'd play 4 corners because they can cover. But the problem is you got to tackle people. So, the more physical they are at corner, which he is. Fields is an extremely physical young man. Dez is a physical big corner. So, and Zach is maybe stronger than all of them. So I like all those guys, and there could be times where you see 4 of those guys with 1 safety, and one of our safeties up playing linebacker, and one of our linebackers up playing rush end. So, we're a little bit positionless defensively, but at the same hand, that's easy to say. You got to be able to stop the run out of all that as well.
Take 2 more.
You mentioned off the top that you got 3 turnovers, 3 takeaways in the scrimmage. Can you tell us any details on that? Who was responsible for them?
Yeah, Rambo had an interception for a touchdown, which we have a definitive plan. If we pick the ball off, we want to try to go score, obviously, or set up a score for our offense. I want to say Doug Coleman had one in a critical situation to end a segment, and then we had young Dadrian Taylor, who's been to answer maybe someone's question, he's probably been the most pleasant surprise. You're talking about kids never played defensive down in his life, played running back his whole life, and back there and made a great play.
Those were all interceptions.
Yes.
Coach, how have the freshman linebackers looked so far?
They look like freshman linebackers. It's just a process. I mean, things are just happening so much faster. They're just trying to survive right now. Things are going 100 miles an hour, and they don't all come here from Sikkim, but they're very talented. They got the physical tools. I really like where Tyreke Matthews is. I think he's going to be a guy that can really step up and play a significant role for us this season.
There were some good things. One of our things we take pride in is not going 3 and outs, and we had a few of those on the day, but for the most part, I think 10 out of 13 drives with the 1s and 2s, we were able to get a first down, so we kept ourselves out of being 3 and out. Now, that's still higher than what our game goal is. Our game goal is 1 or less in a game, but that's an improvement over some of the spring scrimmages and that, so I think we made some strides there. And us getting a first down normally tends to put us in scoring position after that because we can get our tempo going. But there were some good things that way. We had some individuals kind of really show
Xavier White, a local kid that's new to the program, had a really good day. Jack Welch had a really good day that way. Quarterback-wise, it was really Allen did a nice job. Maverick had his probably best day, and there was good and bad, as all freshman quarterbacks kind of are. But there was some really good things, and then Jackson Tyner had some nice plays too to kind of show us some of the things that he's capable of.
Coach, what about Jed Duffy? I mean, you mentioned him there. We haven't heard a lot about him in camp. Where's he at in his progression?
Well, he's improved. I think we're ahead of where we were in the spring with him understanding the offense and those types of things. But then it comes down to its production and everything. And Maverick and Jackson are both putting a lot of pressure on him, and he knows you got to produce to kind of stay in your role, and that's what he's got to continue to do. And there were some good things today, but not enough on Saturday, not enough really on Saturday. So that puts more pressure on him. And that's every job is there to be had. And they earn their jobs. We don't give them. All we do is evaluate it. They decide who's going to be the guys playing for us. So it's a good competition there. We got a bunch of guys kind of competing for that number 2 spot.
You mentioned Jackson. Can you give us a little more info on him and what he brings to the field?
He's guy's experience. He's played in multiple college games, started college games while he was at Rice. We're really fortunate to get him to come here and to join and everything. And he's really picked up the offense well. He's a smart guy, having graduated from Rice, played baseball at Rice, competitive guy, and kind of fit the bill of what we were looking to bring in with our 4th quarterback spot. And now, as he's going through the install now, the second time, you can see kind of the advancement he's made. So it's good competition, and he's feeling more comfortable with it, and that's kind of where we want him at.
How's Myler Royals kind of been progress-wise?
He almost makes 1 to 2 big plays every day. That's what he does. He's extremely talented, extremely that way. It's just kind of on a consistent basis. Are we going to get the same Myler on every play? Is it going to the one when he caught a touchdown the other day on a go route, went up, beat a DB over the top, Maverick put it up, and he made a big play on it. Could have probably had another 2 of those in the game, kind of same situation where he didn't do it. So it's kind of that consistency factor, but he's such a gifted, talented individual that he's got so much in there that we just got to keep squeezing out. And Coach Filani is constantly on him, pushing him and everything. And we've got some guys that get dinged up as part of camp, and he's getting more and more reps, so it's time to you got an opportunity to show it and earn playing time, so let's go do it.
The running back position, is there one guy who's kind of stepped up to earn that role, or is it going to be kind of a running back by committee?
Well, I don't think any one of the guys has really stepped out yet and kind of said give me the ball 25 times a game. I think we got guys that are capable of that, with Ahmad coming in, and then Tay and Roderick. But it's kind of right now it's each one of them kind of has their own kind of their niche and everything and what they do well. And it's if you could kind of, we were joking today, if you could kind of Frankenstein them and put them together, you could make a heck of one tailback out of the 3 of them with what their strengths are and everything. But all 3 of them can fit in very well. But it's really competitive right now with the 3. And as running backs go, they get dinged. Each one of those guys has missed some practice time and everything, which is, you never want that, but it's part of the deal. And then the next guy gets to go, and that's where Jack Welch kind of took advantage on Saturday of getting probably more reps than what our anticipation was, and kind of showed really well. So he's kind of mixed his name into it too with the other 3. So it's a good competition, and I know we're gonna be good at that position, whoever kind of mans it most of the time.
When you mentioned the 25 touches, is that touches or is that straight runs?
We'd be fine. We'd be fine handing it 25 times to a guy if that's what we're best at doing and everything. But no, we want to be able to run the football. We want to be able to run downhill. We want to be able to run when we want to run it and everything. And that's our lines coming together and getting those guys kind of in position. At one point when we started fall camp, only one of the 5 guys in the first huddle played that position at the end of spring. So that's been a little bit of right now we're more 5 guys up front, and we're working toward being an offensive line. So that's kind of the progress we're making. You could see some of that on Saturday, especially in protection. Run game-wise, we kind of probably went back a little bit there the other day, and I think today we were better. So it's a day-to-day deal, but it's a constant improvement thing.
How much has Allen grown this fall camp so far? Since you had high praise for him before, calling him one of the more accurate passers you've seen, but
I don't
now
think he's gained any weight or gotten any taller, so that's stayed the same. That was a joke. I'm not very good at those. But no, he's what he's doing, and I use the golf analogy with him a lot. He's keeping between in the fairway right now with what we're asking him to do, and that's something he's really working hard on is understanding when to throw it away. when to pack it up. Okay, that's fine. They covered me this time. I don't have to make a super play every time. And he did a nice job with that on Saturday, really kind of leading the team and keeping everything kind of moving forward. And then today, really, I thought he had probably one of his best days of doing those things. I mean, today in a 2-minute situation put us in position to kick a game-winning field goal, and really had a couple of chances where he could have tried to do too much and hurt the team, and he didn't. He kind of said, okay, they got us, boom, let's play smart football and everything. And it's not really being a game manager, but it's also understanding the situation, understanding when to put it all out there and when to, hey, make sure I'm doing the right thing for the team. So no, it's moving in the right direction for him with us, and it's been real positive.
When you talked about Maverick and Jet, how those guys are competing for that number 2 spot, because it looked like from like the clips that we saw that Jet was getting some reps, but you said Maverick looked really great too. Are either of those guys really ahead of the other for the second spot?
Really, they're all kind of in a big bucket right now, and that's how we're kind of doing this week. They're all kind of repping with the 2s and 3s, and each day one guy kind of takes reps with the 2s or majority with the 2s, and the other 2 kind of work the 3s, and we're going to do that through the week, and the kind of same thing on Saturday. And that's what we did last Saturday, really. We had 9 drives with the 2s and 3s, and they kind of each got 3 apiece. And that's kind of where we put ourselves after the first 7 practices. So it's been real positive. It's real competitive and everything, but it's part of fall camp.
How have you evaluated the non-tight end slot?
Oh, it's been a change in position since the spring. With Keyshawn going outside, and Keyshawn's really probably might be the kind of the biggest surprise or the biggest kind of improvement guy on the offensive side of the ball, playing outside receiver now for us. But Rigdon has kind of kept what he did in the spring and has gotten better at it. Xavier White, our Monterey guy who just showed up, came this summer, has really made plays repeatedly for us, has been really, really good. And then Mannix being healthy again, getting to see what he does, and now we know he's eligible for the fall, has really kind of opened that up and made it. And then a guy like Xavier Martin, who moved from quarterback to H, has kind of done some really, really good things there. So it's a much deeper position, and we're getting a lot more out of it on a consistent basis in practice. So
Who's been the best one? If you had a game on Saturday, who would start at this point?
Who would start? This is what would probably be. I don't know who would start right now, but it would be all 3 of them would play probably about a third, because they're really. Xavier White has made huge gains in just a short time and everything, but he's really, really exceptional with the football and everything. He's just got to clean up the knowledge of everything. Rigdon, you know what you're going to get every time. He always does the right thing. And then Mannix has got that game experience and plays and kind of has a really good feel for space. So they've all kind of got their little thing, but they're all 3 going to play for us right now, unless things change over the next 2 weeks.
Coach, when you're looking at film for the offense, obviously defense is on the field too at the same time. Who on the defensive side has just been giving your offense fits?
Across the board, the D-line, Coach Randolph's group, and they talk about disrupting up front. They do that on a pretty high rate as far as pushing through gaps, causing penetration, getting guys off of space in that way, and it's been a real good challenge for our guys to be able to handle that. But that D-line has been really, really tough on our guys, especially with how they penetrate and how they attack and what they do that way. And then the guys in the secondary, McPherson, our new guy, he's hard to throw on. He stands out every day. I don't know any of their names with their numbers. I'll just be like, hey, who's 8? And they say, oh, that's McPherson. I'm like, oh. And you say that 4 or 5 days in a row, it kind of sticks. I actually know his name now. But no, they've done a great job, and Coach Patterson does a great job with how they attack. They are a get after, run to the football group, and it's amazing how good things happen when that goes on.
Hey, 2 questions about the offensive line. Who is getting the most reps at the tackle other than Bruffy, and how is the center position shaking out?
Well, Deaton's playing a lot of center for us right now, and he's kind of solidifying that for us, and has done a really nice job of kind of grabbing that and going. And then Casey Verholtz is having a great camp and really a lot of improvement. He's working the one tackle a lot, and then Bradshaw and Zack Evans are playing a lot of the other tackle spots, and they kind of bounce around. Those 3 guys have all played really opposite of Bruffy some. Casey's probably gotten the most at that spot so far and everything, and that's from earning it in practice. But all 3 those other 3 guys have all improved immensely since kind of spring. Weston Wright did some work there and everything, and now we've kind of got him more leveled off inside, and we think he gives us more reps inside as a 1-2 punch on the guard left side.